Welcome back to book number 2, The Four Agreements. It's by Don Miguel Ruiz, and I am going to be reading this to you. I am Tracy Lene, and remember, this ain't audible. I'm going to stop and add my commentary. The last book was a faster read. This one's going to take a little longer, so I've decided to just read for about 20 to 25 minutes total, and we'll get through the book whenever we get through the book. I want to start with the introduction on it. The Toltec. Thousands of years ago, the Toltec were known throughout southern Mexico as women and men of knowledge. Anthropologists have spoken of the Toltec as a nation or race, but in fact, the Toltecs were scientists and artists who formed a society to explore and conserve the spiritual knowledge and practices of the ancient ones. They came together as masters, they called them Naguls, and students of Tenochtitlan, the ancient city of pyramids outside of Mexico City, known as the place where man becomes God. Over the millennia, the Naguls were forced to conceal the ancestral wisdom and maintain its existence in obscurity. European conquest, coupled with rampant misuse of personal power by a few of the apprentices, made it necessary to shield the knowledge from those who were not prepared to use it wisely or who might intentionally misuse it for personal gain. So we know, unfortunately, that the Caucasian has gone in every person's nation and wreaked havoc on it. That day is over, and people are realizing that no, sir, get your own stuff. Stop being a culture vulture. Fortunately, the esoteric Toltec knowledge was embodied and passed on through generations by different lineages of Naguls. Though it remained veiled in secrecy for hundreds of years, ancient prophecies foretold the coming of an age when it would be necessary to return the wisdom to the people. Now, Don Miguel, a Negro from the East Knight lineage, has been guided to share with us the powerful teachings of the Toltec. Toltec knowledge arises from the same essential unity of truth as all the sacred esoteric traditions found around the world. Meaning, your way ain't the only way, okay? There are many, many paths to the divine one. You're on the road that your parents put you on for the most part, and you may have explored and went somewhere else. But here these people all the way over in Mexico don't have to believe the way you believe, and you don't have to believe the way they believe. I believe the way everybody believes. I pick something up from everybody. I call myself the smorgasbord of religion, more of a spiritualist. Though it is not a religion, it honors all the spiritual masters who have taught on the earth. While it does embrace spirit, it is most accurately described as a way of life distinguished by the ready accessibility of happiness and love. I thought this book found me 8 years ago, when I was in a really bad mental space, going through things that I brought on myself by not seeing people for who they are, when I was trying to call a duck a dog, when I was not looking at that duck and saying, that's a duck, that ain't no dog, that's a duck. I was not letting people were telling me who they were over and over again. They were screaming, but I was saying, no, that's not who you are. You is a beautiful being of light. Yeah, they might have been that, essentially, but right now they just was a big lump of coal, and it wasn't my place to mine that coal. It was my place to mine my own spirit, but I wasn't doing that. So God does what God does. When you start going all off into other areas, that energy pulls you back. Come on back to light. Come on back to love. Let me help you. And the way we get help is through people, through books, through rituals. And this book, The Four Agreements, was one of the ways that helped me get back on the path to finding my truest self, to returning to the light. The smoky mirror. 3,000 years ago, there was a human just like you and me who lived near a city surrounded by mountains. The human was studying to become a medicine man, to learn the knowledge of his ancestors, but he didn't completely agree with everything he was learning. That's how I was in every religion I got into. I'm like, I believe this, but I don't believe this. And people would say, you don't get to choose. And I'm like, yes, I do. In his heart, he felt that there must be something more. One day, as he slept in a cave, he dreamed that he saw his own body sleeping. He came out of the cave on the night of a new moon. The sky was clear, and he could see millions of stars. Then something happened inside of him that transformed his life forever. He looked at his hands, he felt his body, and he heard his own voice say, I am made of light. I am made of stars. That's that astral traveling that people can do. I don't know if you've ever done it, but it can be done. He looked at the stars again, and he realized that it's not that the stars create light, but rather light creates the stars. Everything is made of light, he said, and the space in between isn't empty. And he knew that everything that exists is one living being, and that light is the messenger of life, because it is alive and it contains all information. Then he realized that although he was made of the stars, he was not those stars. I am in between the stars, he thought. So he called the stars the tonal, and the light between the stars the nagal. And he knew that what created the harmony and space between the two is life or intent. Without life in tonal, and the nagal could not exist. Life is the force of the absolute, the supreme, the creator who creates everything. This is what he discovered. Everything in existence is manifestation of the one living being called God. Everything is God. Everything is God. And he came to the conclusion that human perception is merely light perceiving light. He also saw that matter is a mirror. Everything is a mirror that reflects light and creates images of that light. And the world of illusion, the dream, just like smoke, which doesn't allow us to see who we really are. The real us is pure love, pure light, he said. This realization changed his life. You ever looked at a baby when they're first born and all you see is pure love and pure joy? Now, not everybody sees that, especially if the circumstances surrounding your birth make you not to have wanted that child. You may not see that. But if you have been blessed to have a child that you not only wanted, but that came about in the right situation and circumstances, you look down at that baby and you see love. You see God. I've done it 4 times. I got menopause happening now, y'all, and I'm getting hot. Ooh. Looking for something to fan with. I just got a little hot for a second. Give me a second to take this envelope out and... Welcome to menopause. Ooh, next stop, sweating crazily. Anyway, this realization changed his life. Once he knew what he really was, he looked around at other humans and the rest of nature, and he was amazed at what he saw. He saw himself in everything, in every human, in every animal, in every tree, in the water, in the rain, in the clouds, in the earth. And he saw that life mixed the tonal and the nagal in different ways to create billion manifestations of life. I love this book. In those few moments, he comprehended everything. He was very excited, and his heart was filled with peace. He could hardly wait to tell his people what he had discovered, but there were no words to explain it. He tried to tell the others, but they could not understand. They could see that he had changed, that something beautiful was radiating from his eyes and his voice. They noticed that he no longer had judgment about anything or anyone. He was no longer like anyone else. He could understand everyone very well, but no one could understand him. They believed that he was an incarnation of God, and he smiled when he heard this, and he said, "It is true, I am God, but you are also God." Tell me where that is. That's in the Bible. Ye are all God's children of the Most High God, but you die like men because you don't believe. That's what it says. So all of these different places and that same, the same energy, the same consistent statement. You are God. I am God, but you are also God. We are the same, you and I. We are images of light. We are God. But still the people didn't understand him. They said, "What you talking about, Willis?" He had discovered that he was a mirror for the rest of the people, a mirror in which he could see himself. Everyone is a mirror, he said. He saw himself in everyone, but nobody saw him as themselves. And he realized that everyone was dreaming, but without awareness, without knowing what they really are. They couldn't see him as themselves because there was a wall of fog or smoke between the mirrors. And that wall of fog was made by the interpretations of the images of light, the dream of humans. Then he knew that he would soon forget all that he had learned. He wanted to remember all the visions he had had. So he decided to call himself the smoky mirror, so that he would always know that matter is a mirror and the smoke in between is what kept us from knowing who we are. He said, "I am the smoky mirror because I am looking at myself and all of you, but we don't recognize each other because the smoke in between us, that smoke is the dream, and that mirror is you, the dreamer. You attract exactly who you are." And so the people that come into your life that irk you the most are trying to point out to things. They're like, "This is what you do." I'm trying to point it out. Can't you see it now? There's the mirror. See it and deal with it. I can tell you 1000%, when you decide to stop reacting to people and what they're bringing, they disappear. Poof, puff, bam, be gone. Okay, living is easy with eyes closed, misunderstanding all you see. That's John Lennon. Chapter 1. Domestication and the dream of the planet. What you are seeing and hearing right now is nothing but a dream. You are dreaming right now in this moment. You are dreaming with the brain awake. Dreaming is the main function of the mind, and the mind dreams 24 hours a day. It dreams when the brain is awake, and it also dreams when the brain is asleep. The difference is that when the brain is awake, there is a material frame that makes us perceive things in a linear way. When we go to sleep, we do not have the frame, and the dream has a tendency to change constantly. Humans are dreaming all the time. Before we were born, the humans before us created a big outside dream that we will call society's dream, or the dream of the planet. The dream of the planet is the collective dream of billions of smaller personal dreams, which together create a dream of a family, a dream of a community, a dream of a city, a dream of a country, and finally a dream of the whole humanity. The dream of the planet includes all of society's rules, its beliefs, its laws, its religions, its different cultures and ways to be, its government, schools, social events, and holidays. I was just thinking about something, how I know for me, I grew up and we ate beef, pork, and chicken. And we didn't think anything wrong with that. But people in India thought eating the cow was terrible. And then we would make fun of Asians and say they ate dog or rat and make fun of it like that's something you should not eat. But we eat other animals. We pick and choose because society tells us what's acceptable and what's not. Now, I don't want to eat a dog or rat or a cat, and I don't eat beef or pork anymore. So, and I stopped eating chicken for like 12 years, and then somebody gave me a piece of chicken, and my mother-in-law, that's what it was. My mother-in-law made some chicken, and her chicken is good. She fried in butter. Y'all, like, she got a big tub of butter. She fried the chicken in butter. Whew, her chicken was so daggone good. I looked at it and said, I got to try that. And that was 28 years ago, and I stopped again. I started eating it again with her, and then I stopped again after 10 years, and now I'm back on the clock. We are born with the capacity to learn how to dream, and the humans who lived before us teach us how to dream in the way society dreams. The outside dream has so many rules that when a new human is born, we hook the child's attention and introduce those rules into his or her mind. The outside dream uses mom and dad, the schools, and religions to teach us how to dream. Attention is the ability we have to discriminate and to focus only on that which we want to perceive. We can perceive millions of things simultaneously, but using our attention, we can hold whatever we want to perceive in the foreground of our mind. The adults around us hooked our attention and put information into our minds through repetition. That is the way we learned everything we know. By using our attention, we learned wholeheartedly a dream. We learned how to behave in society, what to believe and what not to believe, what is acceptable and what is not acceptable, what is good and what is bad, what is beautiful and what is ugly, what is right and what is wrong. Speaking of which, there was a time when somebody like me, a little chubster, was like, oh, she must be wealthy as fuck because she got meat on her bones. Now the opposite. Now it's wealthy to you. People want you to be really skinny. I remember one of the students, he thought he was insulting me. Well, he actually wasn't talking to me. I thought he was. And he said, with her fat ass. And I said, don't be mad at me because I can afford food. But he wasn't talking to me. I heard his feelings when I said that, but I didn't care. His feelings needed to be heard. He shouldn't have been calling nobody fat. Okay, what was I saying? When you were in school, you sat in a little chair and put your attention on what the teacher was teaching you. When you went to church, you put your attention on what the priest or minister was telling you. It is the same dynamic with mom and dad, brothers and sisters. They were all trying to hook your attention. We also learn to hook the attention of other humans, and we develop a need for attention, which can become very competitive. I teach in a middle school. All day long, they're trying to compete on who can be the most feral kitten, who can show me their ass the most and get my attention and get me wrapped up into them so that I can forget everybody else. And because when you're that age, any attention is good. You don't care if it's negative or positive. You just want all eyes on you, like Tupac says. All eyes on me. They're all trying to. We also learn to hook the attention of other humans, and we develop a need for attention, which can become very competitive. Children compete for the attention of their parents, their teachers, their friends. Look at me. Look at what I'm doing. Hey, I'm here. The need for attention becomes very strong and continues into adulthood. This is what I do sometimes. When they start showing off for attention, I say, everybody stop and look over. It's just one particular girl. Everybody look over there and I do like this. Okay, Neville, you have all of my attention now. Go ahead. You got all my attention. I'm going to give you all my attention for the next 5 minutes, Neville. I'm just going to stare at you. That's it. It's just, I'm in back. I'm trying to get your attention. Well, what else are you doing? Because, no. So then she'll stop. Now, she likes when I do that. And she'll go, Miss Backwell, I need your attention. And then I'll do that for a few minutes and it makes her happy. I told you they ain't nothing but feral kittens. The outside dream hooks our attention and teaches us what to believe, beginning with the language that we speak. Language is the code for understanding and communication between humans. Every letter, every word in each language is an agreement. It's an agreement. So we've all agreed on the meaning of words. And then you want to change it and say, that's not what I meant. But that's what you said. Mean what you say and say what you mean. My daddy taught me that. My daddy said, Tracy, say what you mean and mean what you say. And I do that, baby. I put that on God, as the children say. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. And oftentimes people are like, you rude. And I'm not rude. And I definitely make sure that I'm not rude. My family will be like, you just say the first thing come to your mind. No, I don't. It's not the first thing. So can you imagine if what I said wasn't the first thing, what my first thought was? You don't want to know that one. Okay. We all call this a page in a book. The word page is an agreement that we understand. Once we understand the code, our attention is hooked and the energy is transferred from one person to another. I don't think that it's fair to decide a different meaning of a word based upon your feeling about what the word should mean. And then you want everybody to understand that. You need to use the word for the definition. Find the word you're really looking for if you don't want that word. It was not your choice to speak English or Spanish or French or German or whatever you speak, Italian, Arabic. That wasn't your choice. That was your parents'. You didn't choose your religion or your moral values. Those were chosen by you for the people who came before you. They were already there before you were born. We never had the opportunity to choose what we believe or what not to believe. We never choose even the smallest of these agreements. We didn't even choose our own name. And when people say, I didn't choose to be born, I think you did. I think in the spirit realm, you was like, I want to experience being ignored and I want, or whatever you chose. And then you look around for parents and go, she look like she ignored herself. Yeah, I want to be one of her. And, or you say, I want to experience being abandoned. He looked like he don't even take care of his own stuff. He took a shower in a week. He just running around sleeping with woman to woman. He took that penis on the world tour. My mama right here. Take that. Come on over here. I want to be born and I want you to leave for several years so I can have that woe is me story. I think that's what we do. Because in that woe is me story gives me the reason to not achieve the things that I say I want to achieve. I can say, well, you know, I wasn't able to do that because it didn't have this or it didn't have that. And somebody can start going, ooh, ooh, with their little tiny violin, you know, your story. Instead of saying, you know what, yeah, those were the circumstances I had. But watch this, boo. Let me show you what I can do. As children, we didn't have the opportunity to choose our beliefs, but we agreed with the information that was passed to us from the dream of the planet via other humans. The only way to store information is by agreement. The outside dream may hook our attention, but if we don't agree, we don't store that information. As soon as we agree, we believe it, and this is called faith. To have faith is to believe unconditionally. That's how we learn as children. Children believe everything adults say. Not these children now. They don't believe nothing we say. And you know why? Because they've watched us just be so damn hypocritical. Yes, they have. They've watched us tell them, don't tell lies, and we lying all damn day long. They watched us say, don't ever neglect and cheat people, and they watched their mama going on around the side of the thing. Me and Mrs. Jones got a thing going on. They understand it all. Children are always watching. Oh, they see you. They see you, and they go, oh, so you want me to listen to your lying ass? Or the biggest lie, there's a Santa Claus. There's an Easter Bunny. There's a tooth fairy. You want to tell children lies. Say, it's about magical. And we want children to have a magical childhood. No, you lying to them. And when I remember when I found out there was no Santa Claus, I looked over at my mama like, that woman is a liar. My daddy never told us that there was a Santa Claus. My father said he was not going to let no fat white man get the credit for what he does for his children. My sister never believed, and I remember she's 5 years younger than me. Y'all, I'm about to tell y'all an embarrassing story. So she's 5 years younger than me, right? So she was about 6. I was 11. And I said something about Santa Claus. She said, "Mommy and Daddy are Santa Claus." I said, "No, they're not." She said, "We don't even have a fireplace." Don't come back to camera, baby girl. We don't even have a fireplace. And I said, "Well, they come through the door." She said, "How they get in?" I said, "They got a key." She said, "So Mommy and Daddy just running around giving keys to strangers?" She said, "Mommy and Daddy just running around giving keys to strangers. They're not very good parents." She said, no, her exact words were not, "They're not good parents." She said, "They're not." The words escaping, but it was very funny when she said, "Stop doing that, Amari. You see me taping. Don't, my grandchild. Don't do that. You see me taping." I forgot the word she used. Irresponsible. She said, "Well, they're irresponsible parents." So I went and I asked my mom. I said, "Mom, there's no such thing as Santa Claus?" And she said, "No, it's me and your dad." And I looked at her like, "You been lying to me all this time? You playing in my face, lady?" But yeah, I know people say it's harmless. It makes children not trust you. Every child, go ask all of the children. They'll tell you, that's the day I stopped trusting my mother, when I realized that she's a liar. So stop doing that.
I know that too.
Okay, go downstairs. Okay, that's how we learn as children. Children believe everything adults say. We agree with them. Our faith is so strong that the belief system controls our whole dream of life. We didn't choose those beliefs, and we have rebelled against them, but we were not strong enough to win the rebellion. The result is surrender to the beliefs with our agreement. I call this process the domestication of humans. We're domesticated humans. And through this domestication, we learn how to live and how to dream. In human domestication, the information from the outside dream is conveyed to the inside dream, creating our whole belief system. First, the child is taught the name of things: mom, dad, milk, bottle, day by day, at home, at school, church, family, and television. We are told how to live, what kind of behavior is acceptable. That's why the music is as low down, as filthy as it is, because they want to make that acceptable. And when you say, "Who is the they?" The people running the show that want to make sure they keep having a bunch of worker bees and they can keep all the main money. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's real. When we have people like Sexy Red, and I don't know her personally, but I know that she's a detriment to our community. There are other communities that promote stuff, the kind of stuff that she's promoting. It's not cute. It's not safe for women to continue to give their bodies over to whatever man, or for men to give their bodies over to whatever woman. It's just not safe. And spiritually, it can cause a lot of problems, but that's not what I'm going to focus on. We're talking about this book. So I'm going to read one more paragraph, and then I'm going to stop for today, and we'll pick up again tomorrow. We have a whole, okay, let's go back up. Day by day, at home, at school, in church, and from television, we are told how to live, what kind of behavior is acceptable. The outside dream teaches us how to be a human. We have a whole concept of what a woman is and what a man is. And we also learn to judge, like I just did with Sexy Red. So let me correct myself. I don't believe her music is productive for our community, but she could be a valuable tool in our community because our children listen to her. So she could turn that all the way around and have women loving themselves and honoring themselves. You don't have to be married to love and honor yourself. You don't have to. You should actually be the love of your own life, and the man is an accessory, So that's what you really should do. But I don't have the right to judge her. I just don't believe she's good for our community, and her image is good. But she could be an amazing mother in person. I don't know her, but I know what she's putting forth in the world. Nah, it ain't good. We judge ourselves, we judge other people, and judge the neighbors. Children are domesticated the same way that we domesticate a dog, a cat, or any other animal. In order to teach a dog, we punish the dog and we give it rewards. And then we wonder why they act like animals, and we treat them like animals. We train our children, with whom we love so much, the same way that we train any domesticated animal, with a system of punishment and reward. We are told, "You're a good boy," or "You're a good girl," when we do what mom and dad want us to do. When we don't, we're a bad girl or a bad boy. One of the things I want to say about that is, I think the pendulum has swung all on the other side, where we're not disciplining at all. We don't have to beat and spank children, but you do have to give them consequences for their actions. And when they're too young to understand the agreement of all the words, a little pop on the hand helps them to know that's a no-no. And then an understanding and explanation will get further. The Bible says, "Spare the rod and spoil the child." When that child is spoiled, then it's not good. You don't eat spoiled fruit. Anyway, that was today's reading of the Four Agreements. We haven't even gotten to the Four Agreements, but we've gotten a great start. I'm so grateful. I forgot to tell you this in the beginning. They say you're supposed to always say this. Could you like this video? Could you share this video? And can you subscribe to my channel? I'll be here every day reading something for you because God told me at 3 a.m. when the night kept me from sleeping, this is what I want you to do. And I got up the next day and did it. And I ain't gonna stop. Like Jay-Z said, I'm just ain't. Have an amazing night. Like, share, subscribe. See you tomorrow.